ready, Madam Chair.
May I ask you, Madam Clerk, before we get started, all organizations that we have invited here tonight?
All but one, Design XRI was unable to attend, but the other two organizations are here and present.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. And today is April the 13th, 2021. And you have joined the Committee on Urban Redevelopment, Renewal, and Planning, better known as URB Committee. And I would like for Madam Clerk for you to please call the roll.
Chairwoman Harris.
Present.
Vice Chairman Narducci. Absent. Councilman Correa. Absent. Councilwoman Castillo. Councilwoman Castillo.
Coming back, just give her a second. All right, call her again.
She's on, but she's muted. She's on. I can see her name.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Castillo.
In case she's having, I see her video.
Oh,
Present.
Councilwoman, if you're able, without noise in the background, to leave your mic on, please do, if you can, throughout the meeting, so we can make sure we have your vote. If you can leave it on, if you have no noise in the background. Thank you. Wow. We also have joining us tonight, besides our clerk.
Madam Chair, we're still in the roll call. We're not done yet.
Okay. All right.
Councilman Espinal.
Present.
Okay, we have 3 present and 2 absent. We have a quorum.
Madam Clerk, when you get a chance, update my sheet here, because it's the sheet that have all, and we're so happy to have Councilman Espinal join us on the URB Committee, and it is really important that we get our work done, so it's great to have him. I also want to welcome Cal Delgado, who's been helping us as well. We have Gina Costa, and this is from our, besides our clerks, they are also from our council office. So, Madam Clerk, is there any other council people? I see also Doris Del Santos, who's also been very active and helpful on the URB Committee as well. Do we have any more council people, Madam Clerk?
There are no more council people, but Montserrat Otun from the Solicitor's Office is here and available for any questions we might have.
Thank you so very much. And with you introducing her, let's have her give us the legality of this meeting. Nice to have you tonight.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone. This is Montserrat Otun, Assistant City Solicitor for the City of Providence. In accordance with the Governor's Executive Order 2130 and 2046, this meeting can continue remotely.
Thank you so much, Madam Solicitor. I would like at this time to go right into the agenda. Madam Clerk, I would like for you to please read the first item, and then I'd like to also introduce Emily Freeman, who will take the floor from here to get us started about the conversation around this block grant that we have in front of us.
Okay. Communication from His Honor, the Mayor, dated March 26, 2021, submitting the Community Development Block Grant Budget for Program Year 2021 and 2022.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Hello, Emily Freeman, how are you?
Good, thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Emily Friedman, Director of Community Development within the city's Department of Planning and Development. Pleased to join you again this evening to present on behalf of the proposed 2021 to 2022 CDBG budget on behalf of Mayor Elorza. As an overview, this budget serves as the second year of investment under our 2020 to 2024 consolidated plan. This 5-year plan and our investments were informed by community engagement, market and needs analyses, updated review of access and barriers to fair housing, and other community development needs in the city. We are then charged by HUD, the funder of these programs, with the responsibility to select the highest quality service that meets those priority community needs for the best price. We released an RFP for CDBG and other funds in February. We've received close to 100 proposals. So of course, yet again, we find ourselves with incredibly difficult decisions to make as a committee due to the tremendous level of ask and the limited availability of funding. In summary, we received over $8.4 million in applications, along with the many city internal needs that we know we have. So initiatives identified in this budget include provision of basic urgent needs, such as food and childcare, homelessness prevention and case management, youth education and after-school programs, job training and skills development for our lowest income residents, creation of more affordable housing, entrepreneurship programs and small business supports, as well as critical improvements to facilities serving the basic needs of a variety of populations. In the creation of this budget, additional considerations that came into play were the emphasis on the need for shovel-ready projects that are ready to proceed and are clearly defined, the need for impactful and accessible services. There needs to be a direct line between the CDBG investment and those eligible clients being served. And our goal, our collective goal and our hope is to work collaboratively to get this budget into a final form. The council will need to pass the budget twice. The budget is then incorporated into a larger annual action plan that the city must submit to HUD. That will then be put out for public comment and submitted to HUD for approval. The goal is to endeavor to work together to have all of these steps completed and HUD approvals in place by July 1st. The goal, obviously, by ensuring all of this is submitted as early as possible, is to ensure that the dollars are received by the community and deployed to organizations and to initiatives as quickly as possible. I am here to assist and support this process in any way and answer any questions the council might have. Otherwise, I'm happy to yield the floor to the excellent partners and presenters we have here tonight.
Thank you so much, Emily. And as you know, there is a timeline. So it's very, very important that this committee have an opportunity to vet. Vice Chairman and myself do agree with the budget that's in front of us, but we want to make sure that this committee is very comfortable enough to be able to pass it to full council. As Emily have already stated, we have a timeline. So that's why we are in this process right now. And what's great, we got this opportunity to hear from communities as well. But before I do that, Emily, I'm gonna ask for either Councilman Castillo or Councilman Espinal, if they have any questions for you, this is the time for them to present it.
I do not have any questions at this time, Madam Chair. Emily, as always, explains it really well. And I'm happy of the work that's being done, and I'm ready to listen to the presenters.
Okay, thank you. And before I move to the presenters, also, Emily, I think this is the time to also mention that in the next meeting that we have, that you come back to explain to us, you know, I had requested that the entire committee understand where how the fundings are being allocated in the home repair fund, and tell us what's going on in the redevelopment vacant abandoned properties. That is very big for Councilman Narducci, but I would like for you to present it to the entire committee, if you don't mind.
That would be my pleasure.
Very good. Can we get those documents before time so we can have our questions ready?
Absolutely.
At this time, we are here to also hear from our presenters because they have taken time out, and we're so glad that we can do this stuff virtual, where we don't have to go to City Hall and look for some parking. So thank you for making the time to make sure that you are present before us to present before this committee. And once the presenters have presented, I will allow the committee to ask any questions, follow-up questions for our guests and for our presenters, and then we'll move on. I'm going to rely on first of all, I would like for us to read the second item into the agenda, into the record.
Sure. So, Madam Chair, those that have been invited to give presentations, the first up is Margaret Holland McDuff. She's the Executive Director of Family Services of Rhode Island. She unfortunately could not be here tonight, but she is well represented by Ms. Kelly Palmer and Mr. Hugg, both from Family Services.
Welcome. Please state your name for the records, and welcome tonight. We're looking forward to hearing your presentation.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairwoman. My name is Sarah Kelly Palmer.
And thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Stephen Hugg, and we're from Family Service of Rhode Island.
Thank you for joining us tonight. As one of the things that we have to do, first of all, I would like to ask the committee before we get started, because you're the first group, you did send us some exhibits. So I would like, first of all, to ask my committee, did they receive the second copy of this exhibit today by our staff person?
I did. Thank you very much.
Okay. At this time, I would like for us to enter this exhibit, get rid of the other one. Trust the other one, because we got, I'm hoping you've seen that one and got a chance to look through it, and that's the one we're going to be using. So at this time, I'd like to have a motion to enter this exhibit into record, and I'm going to rely on Madam Clerk to give us a exhibit number or item or something.
We will call this Exhibit 1.
We would call this Exhibit 1. I would entertain a motion to enter it into our records.
Madam Chair, I make the motion to enter Exhibit 1 into the records.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilman Espinal. I have a second by Councilman Costello. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. So we have entered it into our records. Welcome again. And whoever would like to start the presentation, you have introduced yourself. Please do.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Would you like me to share my screen to show the presentation?
Whatever's easier.
Great.
Very good. Whatever you want to do.
Okay. I can do that. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for the opportunity for us to speak tonight. My name is Sarah Kelly Palmer, and I'm the Vice President of the Healing Division at Family Service of Rhode Island. And with me is Steve Hugg. Thank you for joining us too, Steve. One of the many hats that I wear is that I oversee what is called our Police Go Team. And can you all see the screen here that says Police Go Team? Yes, okay, great. Our Police Go Team, which started right here in Providence over 15 years ago, touches the lives of approximately 1,000 individuals a year through response to a variety of critical incidents and traumas within the city of Providence. We respond to a wide variety of things, such as homicides, child abuse, children's mental health crises, domestic violence, suicide, school violence, as well as cases of commercial sexual exploitation of children or adults. We respond across the entire city. And for those of you, if you've ever had the opportunity to do a ride along with the Providence Police, you might often hear officers over the radio ask, is Family Service riding tonight? Our team includes full and part-time trauma-trained police liaisons, as well as a team of on-call responders who are available 24/7 and respond on scene within 15 to 30 minutes in partnership with Providence Police any time of day or night to traumatic events that occur. Our liaisons co-locate at the Providence Police Department. They ride along on patrol, responding to calls that involve individuals who've been victimized or who are experiencing mental health or substance abuse crises, as well as things like homelessness or housing crises, and a wide range of other social problems. We have been operating our Go Team with a very small and dedicated staff who are very passionate about responding to victims and those in need. Our goal is to someday have liaisons who are assigned to each specific district throughout the city. We respond in partnership with the Providence Police and provide crisis intervention, assessment, counseling, language support, and linkage to community resources. We respond to individuals across the lifespan, many times to instances of child or elder abuse, as well as domestic violence and homicide, as I mentioned earlier. We are often providing support and comfort to individuals during some of the worst time of their lives. Many of the horrific traumas that you hear about in the news or media, our GO team has most likely responded to with the police. Many individuals and families who we encounter are struggling to meet their basic needs and are almost always impacted by some form of trauma. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated many social issues, as I know you are all aware, this past year, and we have seen so many more residents who are struggling and are in need of intervention and support. Our overall goal is to intervene and to help to break the cycle of violence and trauma and to assist with basic needs and social determinants of health to ensure that all residents have access to the services and resources necessary to lead healthy lives. So we are very honored to have the ongoing support of the City Council and CDBG that has funded us. This is just kind of a snapshot of our total budget for next year. For years, we have relied on VOCA funding to support the bulk of our expenses. And as many of you know, we experienced over a 50% cut to our VOCA funds this past year. The city has been very supportive in helping us fill that gap. We anticipate for next fiscal year an additional 30 to 35% cut to the VOCA allocation, which is why the support of CDBG is more important than ever. We did do a big ask this year, but we know that we've been recommended for $25,000, which would mean a great deal to this program.
Sarah?
Yes.
I might want to add that the Victim of Crime Act funding from the federal government was cut, not the Family Service of Rhode Island alone, it was cut to the state.
Correct.
And it was what, it was a 57% decrease
Correct.
or something like that to the state, and it's declining. And I believe there's some attempts to at the federal level to change that, but that's not in place right now. So we expect we have a Victim of Crime Act funding round coming. It's administered by the state department, the Public Safety Department in the state, and that round is going to start in probably next month. And we expect to hear from them that it has further declined.
Correct.
And there, anyway, the funding kicks into the federal fiscal year.
Yes, and that has impacted not only, as Steve said, Family Service of Rhode Island, but victim service providers across the state, and has really had an impact of victims everywhere. So
just as COVID was making things worse, VOCA dropped.
Yeah, it was a horrific hit to our state. And then real quickly, we are very proud of the outcomes that we have from our police GO team that we've collected from the clients that we've served. We've had positive feedback about our model and have found that we've been able to advocate for and help victims participate in the justice system in the way that makes them feel more comfortable. As a result of the inequities that exist and implicit bias that occurs, we know that many communities do have a mistrust of law enforcement and have had negative interactions in the past. Having a police liaison assist in a time of crisis can be so impactful on many levels, and we see that in the outcomes that you see here. Some of the satisfaction data, survey data we've collected has shown that individuals who've accessed the GO team are highly satisfied with the support they've received. And then a secondary gain has been that the program has really played a part in contributed to building trust between individuals in the community and the police department. So we've had victims reporting a more positive opinion of the police as a result of their interaction with the GO team. And also people reporting that they'd be more likely to call the police in the future for further assistance. The GO teams also won several awards, which we're really, really proud of. And then lastly, I just want to mention that Family Service of Rhode Island is much more than just the GO team. We have a wide continuum of services that really benefits our GO team because our police liaisons can access additional services to help connect victims and those in need to immediate services. We're able to respond and connect people with basic needs and evidence-based clinical treatments. And we also work with many community partners to ensure that our clients' needs are being met. So thank you very much for your time and your consideration. I'm happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
Steve, do you have anything you want to add to anything that Sarah has said?
No, but except one thing, when Sarah was pointing out the awards and actually national presentations in front of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, these didn't happen like 6 months ago. These happened more like 6 years ago. We started this in Providence, was it 2004 or so?
Correct.
And over the years have been spreading the good word with our Providence program. So in this time when people are looking at police departments and saying, what should they do? What shouldn't they do? The whole, what's happening in Minneapolis, of course, actually Providence, because of the partnership that's been going on for so long, has actually been doing a lot more than many communities has been. And we've let people know about it as well at the national level and at national conferences, not only before social service providers, but actually political leaders, the U.S. Conference of Mayors for one, right off the bat. So I think it's a credit to Providence that it's really ahead of the curve, at least, in this question.
I often get phone calls from people across the country asking us about our program, which is very flattering. But
our issue is that over the years, and Sarah's been here many years, but I've been here since the beginning, is trying to find funding to make this work. Victim of Crime Act funds have played a crucial role over the years, and unfortunately, we can't rely on them unless something turns around at the federal level like we have now. So actually our ask was for much more than the $25,000. And what we are going to have to do is, and we are working already, trying our best to fill that gap, because if we can't, then we have to back out the program. And an example of that is we're actually in other communities, but because of funding, we're more limited. For example, we've just started one in Pawtucket, but we don't have 24-hour response in Pawtucket because we don't have the funding to pay people to respond 24 hours. And Central Falls has 24 hours, but other things are lacking there too. So that's what we've been trying to do, and the agency can continue to fight for funding and cross our fingers on Victim of Crime Act, but the role of the city has become more crucial than it was 2 or 3 years ago, actually. And that's why we requested more funding than the $25,000, but we do appreciate what the city has been doing, particularly over the past year.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And your work seemed to be very, very amazing, just from the program I've read. And I have a few questions myself, but I would like to yield the floor to my colleagues to really ask questions. And then I have a couple myself because, I want to dig a little deeper. I mean, I definitely know about your program, but I want to make sure that we're getting the full flavor from you guys. Okay, is that okay to say? I'm yielding the floor right now, Councilwoman Costello. You have the floor right now. If you have any questions, let me find the gallery so I can see your hands up or something. If you do,
no, I'm so sorry. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Councilwoman Costello. Councilman Espinal.
Thank you so much. I think Sarah and Stephen talked about this, but I may have missed it. So obviously you serve the entire state of Rhode Island, but you also is concentrated in the city of Providence. Right? How many hours? Where do you operate from? Is it from your location or the Providence Police Department?
Yes, Councilman. So We have a Go team in several cities, but our main Go team is in Providence. And we operate out of the safety complex right now. So our police liaisons, they actually spend more time at the police department than they do at Family Service of Rhode Island. So they're co-located there. They have desks there. They wear police radios, and they respond in partnership with police and ride along 5 days and nights a week. And then backing them up is a 24/7 on-call team. So if something happens at Saturday at 3 a.m. and the police recognize that it would be helpful to have one of our liaisons, we can respond within 15 to 30 minutes.
So how many team members do you have at the police department?
Yep. So right now we have 2 full-time with a third starting in 2 weeks and another one to be hired. And then depending on the day, there's usually about 4 people on the on-call team. Sometimes 3, sometimes 5, that flexes.
Do you have any records as to how many calls you attend to like per year? Just an average.
Yeah, so typically, the way that we've been reporting our data has been dictated by VOCA, which has us report on a primary victim and then other family members behind that. So primary victims, it's about 400, but if you count the family members that we also interact with, it's about 1,000 a year.
So anyway,
very small team. Yeah, sorry.
That's for Providence.
For Providence only.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes,
Providence.
and some of those are one-time only crisis intervention. Others, we often will follow up with the family after the fact, provide them court accompaniment, visit them with a police officer, weeks after a crime has occurred to check in with them to make sure they've connected with counseling and things like that. So it's a mix of one-time only service, and then sometimes people are followed up with.
So my last question would be, so who determines whether this is a call that the Go team should be involved in?
That's a really good question, Councilman. Right now, it's really voluntary. So we find often that certain officers who have had good experiences and are used to working with us will call us, have repeat calls, or a command staff officer might say to someone on patrol, you need to call family service. So sometimes that happens immediately when the crisis occurs. That's typical. But we've also had situations where, let's say, a sergeant has said to an officer, did you call family service on that? And if they haven't, they'll then be instructed to call us to follow up a day or two later.
But if something happening right at the moment,
yep.
you don't get to hear the call and you're like,
oh,
okay, this is a call.
If they're riding, yes. So if it's if they're riding Monday through Friday, right now we have coverage during the day and then 3 to 11 most nights. Mm-hmm. They'll hear it on the radio, and whichever officer they're riding with, they will take them to whatever district that call is at. So if you're a patrol officer and you have one of our liaisons in your call, it's understood that you might be crossing a district to take somebody to, let's say, a domestic violence call or a sexual assault. So that's understood for those officers that have us riding along.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for your answers. I yield back to you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Great questions. Let the record show that Councilman Correa have joined us.
So noted, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilman Correa, right now we have Family Service. They have presented to us. Family Service is the one with the Go team as well. And they have presented a presentation before us. If you have any questions for them, I'm allowing the committee to ask questions at this time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm very familiar with the program that is run by them, and they do a tremendous job with their partnership with the Providence Police Department. So I support the program 100%. And my apologies to the committee and our guests for being late. I thought the meeting was at 5:30. So my apologies.
Glad to have you. We have many, many meetings, Councilman. I go through that same thing. What time is the meeting again? We have many, so thank you for joining us. I do have some questions.
Sure.
And thank you, Steve, for sharing with us about Minneapolis and the social unrest that we went through, because the council had a big burden on them having the community think that we don't invest in programs like yours, which I want to think, I'm going to say something bluntly, and if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. Do you consider yourself a diversion program?
Yes, absolutely.
A program that's able to respond to the needs. I mean, you have a big list. You have been able to give us this beautiful list of your responses. So with that being said, we have been accused of not investing in diversion programs like yourself and what your work is. So I appreciate you guys bringing tonight and presenting and saying that we have been a supporter, all along. And just to let you know, we were very serious about putting the GO team back into the budget. We had to do that because we know that our council, this team right here, Councilman Correa has so eloquently spoke about how this body of council feel about the GO team, and it was very important that they go back into the budget. So just to let you know, I mean, we did the best we could. As you see, things are very rough everywhere. Yeah. In this pandemic, we all just all over the place, but we felt very strong about that. So just to let you know. The second part, of the conversation I want to have, we are being told that there is a diversion program that we would have to try to decide on. It's coming out of the mayor's office. Do you have any connection to that diversion program whatsoever?
Councilwoman, are you referring to I do note that the RFP that was put out for a planning grant?
Healthy Communities, yeah.
Yes, out of the Healthy Communities office. So the Providence Center and Family Service of Rhode Island partnered to present an application.
Okay.
At this point, it's a consulting to develop a plan, I believe, at this point.
I'm just curious because the council is supporting something that I feel like the community was asking for, like people who are in distress right now, that somebody be there right now. I know you don't have enough staff. In fact, and the way I understand it, you have 3 staff members, and I don't know how you take 3 people and split them. I mean, I know how we do it on the council.
It's hard.
In our work, we take 15 people, we split them like 100 ways, but I'm just trying to figure out how this works. Mm-hmm. However, I've heard, do they wear yellow jackets?
No, they wear plain clothes.
Okay.
They do have vests. They do wear vests.
Yellow vests?
No, bulletproof vests underneath their plain clothes. Okay, no. We don't wear yellow.
Okay, there's somebody else that's out there that's doing some kind of on the ground work and intervening with domestic stuff. I heard a gentleman tell me a good story the other day, and they come out with the police. So I don't know what that is. I'd like to.
The Providence Center, excuse me, Madam Chairwoman, the Providence Center also does have a program where they respond to adults who are in mental health crisis.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they wear yellow vests though.
Okay.
Yeah. They do co-respond.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you again for your presentation. And yes, I think where we are right now is continue to talk and try to figure out where the committee is, and we need to move it to full council for full vote. But we want to thank you for your presentation. And again, I'd like to say that we really welcome your work. And the GO team, I'd like to see us be able to invest even more in that. That's why I like to make sure that where we're spending what we really need. I feel like, how are we really investing dollars if we got you got 3 staff people and you're saying that they being able to do all of this work? If Councilman Espinal say, do you have the documentation? You said it's on Voga, and if you got all of these things going on, that's the crisis that we're in. It's going to get worse once we all come out of this house confinement that we've been in. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. We're very thrilled for the support. We really appreciate it. And if anyone ever has questions or wants to talk more, please feel free to contact us.
Thank you so much. All right, this time, Madam Clerk, I would like for you to introduce our next guest.
Sure. Our next presenter is Chanavi Chai, the Executive Director for the Center for Southeast Asians.
Well, welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair Harrison, and thank you, member of the Urban Redevelopment of Renewal and Planning, member of the Council, Councilman Espinal, Councilwoman Costello, Doris De Los Santos, and Councilman Correa. All of you have known of me for years to years, and I appreciate the opportunity to present to you tonight what the organization is doing. The organization is presenting you in response to the RFP for the facility improvement for 21-22 and requesting a $200,000 to improve our facility. And I want to share, which I did not know that I should share this ahead of time, but I want to share this presentation with you I'm going to open up the PowerPoints. Okay. So can you see my PowerPoint presentation?
We can, and thank you for bringing it and presenting it. Madam Clerk, do I have to enter it into the record?
Yes, as Exhibit 2, please.
May I have a vote from the committee?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to accept this exhibit from the Center for Southeast Asians.
Thank you very much. May I have a second? Do I have a second?
I'm sorry,
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
I have motion have been made by Councilman Correa, second by Councilman Espinal, Councilman Costello. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So we will enter this as Exhibit 2. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, Councilman Correa.
Are we going to, I don't have a hard copy of this in my packet here, so will we be receiving a hard copy as well?
Madam Clerk, could you make that happen for?
Yes. I have spoken with Ms. Chai. She will forward me the PowerPoint presentation, and I will get copies to all members.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you for that request.
Madam Chair, just one other thing. I'm getting a lot of feedback from somebody.
Councilwoman Costello, I have to ask you to mute yourself. I think you have a lot of feedback. Thank you. At this time, we're going to turn the floor over to our presenter. First of all, before you do that, could you please introduce yourself for the record?
Thank you, Madam Chair Harris. Let me make that correction. I'm sorry, earlier I called you Madam Chair Harrison. Thank you for allowing me to correct that. And yes, my name is Chanavi Chai. I'm the current Executive Director of the Center for Southeast Asians.
Thank you so much. And we will listen at it right now. Thank you.
Yes.
You have the floor.
Thank you. Madam and member of the council, this is the presentation of the Center for Southeast Asian. As you know, the organization was birthed in 1987 to better serve our Southeast Asian community after the fall of the Vietnam War. And so this building has been a fixture since 2000 for the service of our community. And then we serve, as you can see, over 6,000 annually unduplicated clients on an annual basis. And now we have expanded to service other minority community group. So with that, our organizations and facility need to accommodate the needs of our community. And so you will get this, and I just want to walk you through a demographic. The Southeast Asian is the fastest growing group in Rhode Island right now. But due to current hates and threats in our community because of the rhetorics that has spewed during the pandemic period relating this virus into our community is right now paralyzed. Paralyzed meaning that at the beginning of the pandemic, our market, which is very small, go to locally catered to the needs of our community, closed down because of those threats. And then our organization have to step in to bring certain group of public safety to ensure there's protection for our community. And as you know, I have taken on to the airwave to ensure that Rhode Island right now have gone and see the Atlanta incidents, have not gone through the New York and California incidents, but we haven't seen verbal threat in our community. So our community is on guard, and our organization is a place where they come for safety, meaning access to services safely, and also many other resources that they would need, and understanding the culture of how to protect themselves, their family, and ultimately their community. So this is a place where they come to accessing those resources. And you can see our community right now in the 2020, well, we not know yet, but the census will be complete, how big our community are. We're about 37,000 strong in our state. So it's a big population. The problem facing our community is array. When you look at the Southeast Asian community, you look at someone like me who came to this country 40 years ago, and I lost all my family. The only family member that I have is my mom and my aunt. And the many that walk through our door have similarity, whether they're from Southeast Asia or other war-torn country like Burma, Liberia, and in the Philippines, the Filipino community. They are suffering through war. And these are people that are facing many poverty. So, for example, when we got here, my mom got a job at Providence Metalizing in Pawtucket, making $2.86 an hour. So, 40 years now, she retired. And guess what her income is? She barely made her mortgage payment. So how do someone like her support herself without family member helping her, without systems helping her, and without organization like us supporting those services and connect them to services that are really beneficial for them, such as SNAP benefits, such as Medicare, Medicaid program, where they don't know. And we have to complete the application for them because they don't have the language skill. They don't have the capacity to complete all of that. So here we are, we have to help them. So we as an organization need to be vibrant, need to stay alive, need to ensure that our organization facility is equipped to provide service that is needed every single day. We need to turn the lights on. We need to pay for those lights on. We need to turn the heats on. We need money to fill those heats. And we need those systems to turn those things on. So we need your help to ensure that those things get to our community. Our lack of school success, our children, the minority myth of our community, that we are highly educated. But when you think about our community, these are Southeast Asian came here, like myself, like my mom, like my aunt, came here from all walk of life. They wasn't come here because for education. They came here because of war. And when they came here, they didn't speak a word of English, and they just went to work, and they continue on that work. So now their children's now, they own businesses, they become professional, but they themselves is not. And even the people that came the same times I am, I get to sit in the chair that be the voice for our community. But there's 90+% of my friend who came to the center and accessed services because they needed it. So these are the minority myth for our community, that we are healthy, we are highly educated, and we're quiet, but we're not visible. That's a narrative that people want to paint us, that we are invisible. We're not invisible. We're here, our organization here to better serve them. Family dissolution. People ask me all the time. It's like, Chinabi, why is our family is not together? Well, circumstances just like any family in our own community. Family grow in different directions. And sometimes those family is break apart. Whether it's through addiction, mental health. Addiction is definition is whether it's a definition of gambling addiction, substance abuse. All these things play a role in how our families stay together. And our community is part of the fabric of this city and this state. And so they are going to have these family issues, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's child, find their way in a group that they should not belong there because family does not see eye to eye, because an elder see it this way, the youngsters see it that way. So then they are separated. Family are falling apart. And for us as an organization, we are a place where they can come and seek understanding of how they can unite and understand each other. Whether our elders, community, they are living and isolated in their apartment, and their children like myself who are working 14, 15 hours a day and don't have time to go visit them. And then our youngsters, where someone like me working 14, 15 hours a day in manufacturing, which you can't take a day off, because if you do take a day off, you're not going to get paid. And guess what? They're not going to take a day off. So those child. And I can tell you right now, the challenge with our youngsters with long distance learning right now, in 5 to 10 years, they're not going to be having a jobs that is high pay and put them into middle class. And the centers continue to making sure that we are a voice to better serve our community. A voice meaning that we have the culture, the language skill to better serve our community. And that is the center. Our health disparity, and I don't need to share it, I will share it with you and you can read it on. These are our key program, our language bank. This is where our fee for service come to the center. By being an interpreter, we employ people so that they could use that income to put back into the economy in our state. Our case management, where our team who speak the language, who understand the culture, providing a needed service, consistent needs of service. Victim of crime, we deal with domestic violence, sexual assault. We deal with an array of issues that affect those victims. So we want to make sure our elderly service, right now, our elderly service, we used to have our meals on wheels here in our building. Because of COVID, we have to suspend in person. So we deliver meals to them. Our cultural awareness training. We want people to understand how to better serve these community, understand each other, and the way how people respond. It's not a one-way, it's a two-way road. So we want to take an opportunity to ensure it's come from us to the larger community to better serve our community. Our immigration service, we don't have an attorney in-house, but what we can do is making sure their application, making sure how much the fees and what they get themselves into when they are taking those kind. We have adult literacy program. We have a skill program where we can help train people to get a better skill so they can move to middle class. Our income, our VITA program, we are certified by our IRS to do taxes free. And we are at the top right now, as of last week, We are the #1 agency that provide the service, needed service. So these are all the things that we do and more. These are just a sample of what we do here at the center. And like I explained this morning to one of our donor, that we do from birth to death. Birth, we provide car seat and parent training. We want parent to understand when they bring their child, when they bring their infant baby, they need to have a proper equipment in order to bring their babies home. And then death is that we are collaborating with association group, like the Lao Family Association group, because when they have a loved one during COVID pass away, they didn't know where the body went. We have to help them. Our elderly, we have to help connect them to our community so they have a proper cultural burial, because that is so important to every community, not just this community. So those are things that I think it's so important for our community to stay vibrant, to support. So as you can see, during COVID, these are food that we provide to our community. These are monks that are coming in from different places, coming, whether it's a Laotian Buddhist monk or the Cambodian, whoever, they're coming in, get the cultural food that they're needed. It's not just any food, but these are food that they used to. And this is what we do here at the center so that our community is served properly. And we have 3 pillars. We honor our heritage. We preserve our culture so that our children can understand where someone like me come from, where their grandparent came from, and honor that heritage so that we know that we have to work hard, study hard in order for us to do better. Stewardship, we are responsible ensuring that we manage our funding properly, that we're spending it properly, that we make sure that it go back to our community. And our responsibility to our own community, our responsibility to the larger community, to making sure all program and services within our organization is tailored to the needs of our community. And you can see the cultural that we are presenting to you. This is some things that we do here at the center. So I thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chamnavi. Chamnavi, we all do know you. Not only does this body committee know you, we know you throughout the state. You are a leader, and we really appreciate all that you do. And I can't say how much you have made, and you have brought the Southeast Asian community as a part and a pillar of all of our communities. So we want to thank you for all you do and how you have been able to leverage off all those resources and be able to do so much. Right now, I have no questions from Chamnavi. I know her work. I passed by the center. It's a servant not only to Southeast Asian people all diverse, low income, and marginalized people do attend that center as well. So it's a beautiful place. Most of us have been there, so I don't have anything for her. I want to open up the floor for any of the committee members who have any questions for Chamnavi.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Before that, Chamnavi, could you please take your screen down?
Thank you.
Okay, we're waiting for you to take.
Yep. Can you see me? Hold on. I'm trying.
Oh, that's all right. We're patiently. We'll stand.
Up at the top, can I click stop share?
Stop share. Yep. Stop share. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you. Madam Clerk. I had a councilman begin to speak. I couldn't recognize the voice. Who's speaking?
Councilman Correct.
Thank you, sir. You may have the floor.
So if I'm looking at this right, the Community for Southeast Asians is looking for some money for renovations to their facility for, looks like, I think, $169,000. Am I looking at that correct?
Shamnavi, you have a right to answer the question. What are your requests from this committee?
Councilman Carrera, thank you for asking that question. We asked for $200,000 and it's a shovel ready because the building on the other side, the brick is falling apart. And we are working right now with a firm called Cortison Design from Middletown to provide the architectural. And then we work with Ken Jones of Ken Jones Construction to provide us the detail and the level work that it needed and the cost because of prevailing wages. So we put a request for $200,000 to fix that part.
Okay. So Emily, the 169 that I'm looking at in that column, what is that from last year?
Yes, so the column on the far right of the spreadsheet that was provided to the council indicates if the agency received a current fiscal year allocation. So there was $169,000 that was awarded in the 2020-2021 budget for the agency for facility improvements.
And what do we currently have? I don't think I have all these thick papers in front of me. What do we currently have allocated this year to them, or have we not?
There is not, based on the fact that the agency was recommended for funding and received allocations in the prior 2 fiscal years, we prioritize other requests in the new budget.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Madam Chair, I mean, I don't have a problem trying to, try to find some funding and whatnot if we can to help this organization. I am well aware of the work that they do in the community. I had the opportunity to support them during the pandemic with some N95 masks and some other PPE supplies for the community. So I look forward to having further discussion with my committee members to try to get them the money that they need to upgrade their facility so that they could continue their great work in the Southeast Asian community. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for this request, Council. Any more?
Madam Chair, may I make some remark and elaborate?
Okay, please. We will keep it quick though, right? It's just,
Thank you. Thank you, Madam. We are the only organization service this community in the state, comprehensively serving the need of the state. And I ask and urge you that priority have to be made so that we are inclusive, because we serve 99% of our community is minority community. During this time of challenging to all of us, is that I urge you to consider supporting, because this is the only organization is asking you that, reflecting what's the time of today world.
Madam Chair, can I just do one follow-up question regarding?
Yes, please.
So the funding, if this committee isn't able to get you the entire amount of funding that is needed so that you can make the proper corrections there at your facility, do you have a alternate funding source or any type of money to put towards the project, the organization?
This funding was so important because for next year, that this funding that we can choose to apply with Champlain Foundation to show that City Council and the City of Providence have made commitment. And then by having this is so important for us to prove to them so that we can request funding from them. Last year was the same thing. The city made the commitment of 169. We share that with the Champlain Foundation. They gave us that. But moving forward, we don't have anything. So there's nothing right now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
But Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just echo those expressions that you so eloquently put together. I know the center as a great presentation. It's something legitimate. There is legitimate need, and they do great service. And Councilman Correa actually asked a question that I wanted to ask about alternate funding, because as Emily said at the beginning, there was over $8 million of asked, and then there was only so much money we had. But I do understand that we should try to see in what way and how much we can help out with. It's a great organization. They do great work, and I'm more than likely to support it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Excuse me. Every time I go outside, I lose my voice, but I'm happy that the sun is beginning to shine. Emily, I'm going to bring you into this conversation because last ERP committee, we passed an emergency grant funding for some of the work that the Southeast Asian community is doing. And one of the things right now in this pandemic, I understand that we have facilities are falling apart. That bothers me. I mean, my recollection, everything is falling apart in facilities. One of the things that Chamnavi mentioned that was very, very important to me is feeding our people. So what is a facility without food in my belly? You know, I'm trying to say, and I believe that they have really done a great job around the COVID virus. Can you tell us whether there was any allocations for that? And this is a time for our council members to do a vote to full council, if that's the case. Please, if you are able to tell us. Because I was looking for my documents. I'm sorry, I didn't have a passport.
So last week, this committee passed out the CARES revised ordinance, which included supplemental funding to a number of organizations, one of which I'm very pleased to say, you may recall, was the Center for Southeast Asians. They were recommended for a renewed and increased funding for their food and services for our Southeast Asian neighbors. So that organization was awarded an additional $80,000 to support those critical services for the next fiscal year.
And I hope that right now is a little bit relief for you, Chamnavi, because I believe that we have right in front of us. I am not the type of person that have ever promised you something that I cannot do. So I don't want to, and I understand my colleagues, we all love you to death. You hear Councilman Correa, he's willing to do whatever. And I believe he can or would to his extent of how that happens. But at this time, I believe we're where we are right now. And I don't want to, you know, I understand you've been working on that facility for a while, and it is something that needs to be done. But I will rely on my colleagues to try to figure out if there is any other help that we can provide for you, as Councilman Correa have said, and be able to work from there. If that's any insurance at all. I will continue this conversation with my colleagues if that's reinsurance.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, may I ask you, is there any other business before this body?
There is not, Madam Chair.
Well, with that being said, I would very much like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yep.
Madam Chair,
Madam Chair, a motion to continue.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Boy, I'm telling you, I didn't mean to. We need to continue because Councilman Correa said we still got stuff to talk about. So yes, that is exactly what we will do. I will entertain a motion from Councilman Correa to continue.
Madam Chair, at this time,
Second motion.
at this time, I make a motion to continue the items on our.
Second.
A motion have been made by Councilman Correa, second by Councilman Costello. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Now, Madam Clerk, one more time, do we have any more business before this body?
We do not, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, with there being no further business before this committee, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? I have a motion on the floor and a second. All in favor? Aye. Everybody take care of yourself. Looking forward to the next meeting. We'll be back at the table, like Councilman Carrera said, continue. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Everybody, thank you.
Bye. Thank